Hello beautiful people, I'd like to welcome you to a Cambrian Coast model railway. For those that don't know where the Cambrian Coast is, here's the photos. So essentially it runs from Shrewsbury all the way to Mahonglith and divides at W Junction, goes north up to Paheli, and it can also split off and it goes to Aberystwyth, where I'm from. So I have been building a layout in the case which is still there, to be fair. Had a lot of negative comments, well not a lot, but just a few in between, and then I lost interest in model railways, and essentially I just wanted to build something and maybe post on YouTube just to see if people would be interested and whether or not they could actually get some advice from me. You know, I've been doing it a while now. Got a 2-year-old, a 9-year-old, and the 2-year-old is just absorbing all the information, so quite a family man, busy person. And then I've ended up with a board on a table, so I'll show you. So this is like a coffee table really. Got it for £5 in like a charity type shop, and essentially it was going to have a fish tank on, which it did for a while. Then the fish tank got bigger and obviously needed a bigger thing, and this was surplus. And I like to give credit where credit's due. I actually saw on YouTube somebody called Budget Model Railways, and he built a 00 gauge layout in a ridiculous sort of space. So I had a dibble and a dabble, and then I posted them up on YouTube, and then I deleted it. Then this one came up on YouTube, and then I deleted it because of a negative comment of a couple of people. And here I am. So this is based on the Cambrian Coast. It doesn't need to be fancy or anything. So down here, as you can see, there's an open gap. So that does actually have a drawer, where I've put it for now. Here it does actually have a drawer that I can use for actually model railways, put the trains in. And then I actually bought a Hornby controller, so nothing's exotic. So I did that. And then I've got some controllers here, which will be for lighting or whatever it is that I want. So the actual dimensions you may want to wonder here, so I'll show you. So this is my dimensions. As you can see, running right across very slowly for you all. It measures the grand total of 18 inches, and it goes up by 18 inches again. So with that said and done, what I actually did next, I had, I'll say, 2 lengths of FlexiTrack. The reality is it wasn't 2 lengths. It must have been about 8. Well, that's how many attempts it took me to actually get this right. A lot of it was trying to actually cut it and put it together on the joins, and some of it was because, well, the 2-year-old was very excited and kind of just wanted to pull things apart many times. And you know, Albatross models in Aberystwyth, can't fault them. They've been brilliant with trying to help me out with this a little bit behind the scenes, like giving me plenty of FlexiTrack, make sure that they got plenty as well. So this left me eventually with the 2, and it's not really a radius one. It's, I know, somewhere narrower than a radius one, I would imagine. I think you need like 21-22 inches. But as you can see, there is a train that runs around, which is an old Minitrix, and I think it was like a class 25 to begin with, and I found something off eBay of class 33 DRS years and years ago that I put on, and it works, which is a credit to them. So this is kind of where I'm at. So all of this here, I would like to tell you all, it's actually just expanding foam, but it's kind of not really. So it's gone through kind of many phases, and the reason why I'm doing this video now is I think actually it's progressing to something. I think people might be interested, and I might be able to offer something. So essentially my first base layer underneath all this was expanding foam, and I kind of hated it is the truth of that. So then I ended up with polyfiller, and that didn't quite go to plan, and that's mostly because it was cheap. So then the whole train set got debunked, chucked in the garage, and then I ended up trying to build something else. and then it's come back out again. And then I had some expanding foam and I put it on, and then it just took this kind of beautiful mountainous Cambrian feel, really. As you can probably see from the beginning of the video, you can see some of the Cambrian mountains in the back of the in the background. So I thought, well, why not give this a go? So there's nothing special on here. There's a little bit of flock. There's some WWS. I think it's about 6mm autumn grass, and then there's some Hornby 2mm grass on the top, and it is static grass, but I haven't statically put it down. I got my fingers and just spread it with PVA. I'm kind of just seeing what would happen. And yes, you can see that it hasn't covered everything, but actually that's kind of giving me the feel what I want. So the bare areas I got next, I'm going to paint grey. I'm going to make them look like mountains. Somewhere over towards here, I don't really know. But what I would like to do is kind of show you all how to develop scenery. It doesn't always have to go to plan. At the end of the day, it's a hobby, and we should be enjoying it. And it's kind of sad that I've had some really bad comments, and to the point that I changed all my original YouTube thumbnails, you know, and it's become so disjointed. So I'm just focusing on this for now. I'm probably going to have a tunnel, a bridge, tunnel, I don't know, something like that. Maybe you can all give me some suggestions. Now, I go back to the toddler. Okay, so she's very enthusiastic about trains, and I think she gets it off her dad. So when it came to this train set, it really needed to be rock solid, and I mean rock solid. When you use expanding foam, this is rock hard, and excuse the puns. Now, what I've got is, I think it was Scaledale's or Hornby version or something, small ballast, and I wanted brown because when you study the Cambrian, most of it's kind of like a brown rusty colour. But most people would actually just use the PVA glue with the 50-50 mix. No, not me. And if you go back to some of my earlier videos, you'll see on my other layout, I use super glue. So some of you may go, oh my goodness. Well, actually, it's not as bad as what people think. And is it cost effective? Maybe, maybe not. In this entirety, it probably isn't for you. However, if you all got a layout like this, and it's got potential to be broken, the cost saving is there. Because this has been here for the best part of 2 months, and the toddler has tried everything in her beautiful little power to dismantle it, and she can't. So the value's there, really. No more replacing flexi track, lost time. So with the Hornby controller, what I've done, as you can see, I've cruelly soldered 2 joints here. What I found easier, and excuse some of the sort of horrible ballast in here, you know, this is still work in progress. I didn't think it was going to turn into a YouTube video, but I think it will. Well, it is, isn't it? So here I've soldered the joints because I found that easier. And just coming across, you can see I've soldered joints in there. So it is work in progress. If you look carefully, you can see what I'm trying to achieve. So I kind of want it, not all the sleepers showing, because that's a true feel of the Cambrian coast, to be fair. So I don't know. Hopefully you will enjoy this. The next steps will be trying to acquire a cheap class 37. Well, obviously the Cambrian Coast runs on 97s, but based on the 37. So if I can get one of them, there's a lot of opportunity to be had here. So I don't know. If you're interested, just press like and subscribe. You don't have to. But hopefully I can bring some modelling tips. You can have a little look, a little laugh, a little cry with me as we go along. But I'm just trying to show that actually you don't need a mass amount of space, and you can actually base a real layout somewhere close at home, which I like. And it's just fun. It goes round and round, and there's no sort of exciting opportunities with that. But knowing the Cambrian, well, anything is possible. I could actually have a platform here running round. I could have two 158s with another 158 attached and detached, and one goes one way, one goes the other, you know. So there's a little bit of poetic license with this, but it in the living room, and I quite like it to be kind of a centerpiece. So let me know what your thoughts are. I'm not great with YouTube, very time consuming, but I'm just trying to give you something to watch. So hope you enjoy. Take care of yourselves. Have a good one. Bye.